have your signal focused on that single point. Everything not pointed at that single point is unnecessarily wasted energy. It is picking up noise from unintended directions. It doesn't matter if the beam efficiency is 100% or if it's 1%. What you care about is how much signal is focused at that single point and how much to the beam is picking up noise from unintended directions. The more unintended directions, the more noise that you're going to pick up. It's not the beam efficiency, though. It doesn't matter if it's main lobe or side lobe or whatever. Here is noise. This is wasted signal. This is wasted energy. This is poor performance. The noise doesn't stop magically where the side lobes supposedly end. So again, remember I was saying, where does the main lobe end and the side lobes begin? As far as picking up noise, you're picking up noise from all of this. And it's only right here that you actually care about. So any signal that isn't being sent specifically to the other point, that is wasted signal and wasted energy. Now, if you have a 90-degree symmetrical horn, it has 100% beam efficiency. You're still, for point-to-point application, that's a terrible antenna, unless you're in very close proximity. But the same is true here. So when it comes to understanding how an antenna is going to perform in noise, beam efficiency isn't doing it.
And transmitted to all neighboring links. Again, whether it's a backhaul link or a distant narrow sector, the beam efficiency around 40% means low throughput in high noise areas. And on top of that, susceptibility of these links to anything that's happening in the surroundings. If someone puts up a new link, you instantly see the result on your network performance. Now, replacing the low beam efficiency patch array sector by horn antennas with beam efficiency up to 99%, the noise level in the urban and high density areas is effectively avoided. Because high beam efficiency means no side lobes. No side lobes means no interference. The final effect is...
So no side lobes means no interference, is what he just said. Now imagine this is your sector, right? And your subscribers are located here. And you've got home Wi-Fi routers located all throughout the sector. And you've got competing CPE antennas all throughout the sector. You've got neighboring towers in the sector. Obviously, no side lobes does not mean no interference.
High throughput and network stability. Addressing the most pressing problem of WISP.
So he's saying that the noise is here. The noise isn't there. The noise is everywhere.
This is much more straightforward. Now, only one advice here. Use antennas with high beam efficiency. High beam efficiency equals to high throughput. That equals eventually to happy customers and a joyful life as an internet service provider.
So notice here, their diagrams show narrow beam widths. So they show sector division, show narrow beam widths. Yet RF Element still doesn't understand. They still don't get it. They actually drew it out on a diagram here, but they still don't understand. So they got 3 sector antennas providing service to all of this area. They say the noise only comes from co-located towers. They don't understand that noise also comes from the sector. Even though they made a drawing here showing how this network would perform better than that network, but not because of the beam efficiency, because of the narrow beam widths.
Actually, it gives you the freedom and time to You can switch from running around servicing the faulty and problematic links or talking to angry customers to actually start thinking about, well, how can I expand my business? How can I do even better? And that's really something that's invaluable. And the radio manufacturers are actually also trying to help with the noise naturally. The GPS synchronization, ensuring that the radios in your network transmit and receive at the same time, protects you from self-interference, but not from the side lobes of the competitors' antennas. Now, high beam efficiency ensures that you do not have to.
So GPS sync completely eliminates self-interference if you can GPS sync all of your co-located radios. But the noise and interference doesn't just come from the side lobes.
Worry about the interference at all. It does not receive it. So you don't need to try to deal with it in the first place.
So he's saying you don't need GPS sync, apparently, if you use their antennas. That's the claim. Now, anybody can have multiple radios co-located on a tower. They're set up as access points. But if you scan as a station from one of those access points, you can see how strongly that access point sees its co-located access points. Now, if you're running RF elements antennas and have no side lobes, you don't need GPS sync, then they're not going to see each other. But obviously they're going to see each other. Just keep that in mind, and that the signal level that they see each other at, that's the noise and interference that they're going to cause to each other. Yes, you need GPS sync. GPS sync gets you so much more.
So beam efficiency is a very practical antenna parameter. Now, before the discussion about the side lobes was limited to many versus little or yes versus no, beam efficiency provides a number from 0 to 100%, and it's super easy to compare side lobe performance of antenna.
A little too easy.
Now, the front to back ratio or side lobe level are parameters that are really not so important, not useful in WISP industry.
So notice RF Elements is calling side lobe level and front to back ratio myths, saying parameters are largely confusing, saying that antenna parameters only show one frequency point and one polarization. False. Saying unclear antenna comparison. Also false. In fact, the whole problem with beam efficiency is RF Elements is the only antenna vendor using it. So it's not useful for antenna comparison, although RF Elements might like it to be, although RF Elements claims they know the beam efficiency of other antenna vendors. It is not useful for comparison. Again, every day is opposite day with RF Elements.
Because they only consider one side lobe or one lobe out of many antenna might have. So beam efficiency, on the other hand, includes all the side lobes, which makes it very useful metric. Including all the side lobes removes any ambiguity. You can be.
So they're saying now, and they have a thumbs up, averaged over the band and polarizations. That makes it less useful, not more useful. It doesn't have a clear definition because they haven't defined the first null. They haven't defined where the main lobe ends and the side lobes begin. All side lobes included, okay. Easy comparison, no, you can't compare to other antenna vendors because no other antenna vendors use this because it hasn't been defined.
This metric is reliable. Always ask whether a parameter is a single frequency or wideband. In WISP industry, wideband is simply a must. Because the spectrum is shared by many, therefore wideband performance is vital. And RF Elements addition to the beam efficiency definition is to average it over both polarizations and the whole antenna bandwidth.
So it's ironic that RF Elements says that their antennas have wideband performance. Their 5 gigahertz antennas don't even cover the entire 5 gigahertz range. So they often confuse the frequency range of their antennas. So here it says 5 and 6 gigahertz unlicensed spectrum band, wideband performance, 2,225 megahertz wideband. So 5 and 6 gigahertz bands, they keep on saying this. Down here, they say 4.9 to 7.125 gigahertz, or 4900 to 7125 megahertz on the waveguide port. But they say check the spec check for performance data of the particular combination of feed, TPA, and antenna. There is no twist port adapter that allows this frequency range. There's no twist port adapter that I'm aware of that even covers the entire 5 gigahertz band. RF Elements has been making 5 gigahertz antennas for more than a decade. They don't even have antennas that cover the entire 5 gigahertz band. So ironic that they think that they have wideband antennas.
Not do better than that. It's really the most one can do in terms of how useful this parameter can be. So beam efficiency is the ultimate measure to judge antennas by in WISP industry. And it is a tool in your hands eventually to make better decisions for your business. So please use it, and ask for it if an antenna you're looking for doesn't have it in the datasheet. To make it easy for our customers, we added beam efficiency of our antennas into all our datasheets, and we are a transparent manufacturer and want to provide our customers the information that's important.
So he says he wants to provide the information that's important. Take, for example, excellent VSWR on the UltraDish 29 wideband. I'm going to search for VSWR. There's two. VSWR, check our online spec check for performance data of the particular combination of feed. They don't even tell you what the VSWR is of their antennas. They say they want to give you the information that you need. I'm going to search for isolation. No return value. So they don't include VSWR. They don't include isolation. I'm going to search for gain. So it says nominal gain, whatever that means. So they don't include measured gain. They include nominal gain on their antennas, so on their data sheets. So gain, no. VSWR, no. Port isolation, no. Rectangular plots that show you detailed antenna patterns, no. Both vertical and horizontal polarizations on the antenna patterns, no. Multiple frequency points on the antenna patterns, no. ETC mask, no. When they say they want to give you the information that you need, beam efficiency, that's being disingenuous. They're going to continue on promoting all their other beam efficiency videos. Is there anything left over? Leave it in the comments. Let me know if I missed anything about beam efficiency that still needs to be addressed. I think I've done a pretty good job. Thanks for watching.